active high pass filter circuit. The high pass filter circuit consists of one section of RC, resistors and capacitors, which is connected to the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp, and there is a resistor Ri, which is the input resistor. It is connected between inverting terminal and the ground. The feedback resistor Rf is connected between the inverting terminal and the output terminal of the op-amp. Now we study the working of the circuit. Initially, at very low frequency, the capacitor acts as an open circuit. Capacitive reactance is very high at low frequencies. So, low frequency signals cannot flow through the capacitor, it acts as an open circuit. So, there is no input voltage to the circuit, hence we get no output. As we increase the frequency, the capacitive reactance goes on decreasing with respect to frequency. So, at high frequency, capacitor is almost short circuited. So, all low high frequency signals will appear across the non-inverting internal of the op-amp. Therefore, we get the output. Now, there is a frequency known as the critical frequency. The frequencies above critical frequency will be allowed to pass through the circuit, and the frequency below critical frequency will be blocked by the circuit. Look at the frequency response curve of the RC high pass filter. It is a graph of voltage gain versus frequency. Now, the voltage gain corresponding to the maximum voltage gain is indicated as AV maximum. The frequency corresponding to 1 by root 2 times the maximum gain is called the critical frequency. The frequency above critical frequency will be allowed to pass through, and frequency below critical frequency will be blocked by the circuit. If the circuit consists of only one section of resistors and capacitors, the circuit is called the first order active high pass filter, and if the circuit consists of two sections of resistors and capacitors, the circuit is called the second order RC high pass filter. Now, the frequency response of the second order filter is very much closer to the ideal high pass filter frequency response. Yes. The lower cutoff frequency of the high pass filter is given by the formula Fc equal to 1 by 2 pi Rc, where R is the resistance and C is the capacitance of the circuit. The theoretical voltage gain is given by the formula AV equal to 1 plus Rf by Ri, 1 plus Rf by Ri, which is the expression for voltage gain of the non-inverting amplifier. So, using these two formulae, we can calculate the critical frequency and also the voltage gain of the circuit. The next is the digital to analog converter. The digital to analog converter is used for the conversion of the digital signal into an analog signal. Now, usually the information may be the sound wave or it may be the picture information. The sound wave is analog in nature. The sound wave is converted into electrical signal with the help of the microphone. The microphone is a transducer that converts the incident sound wave into the electrical signal. Now, since the sound wave is converted into electrical signal, which is called audio signal, the audio signal is analog in nature. Straight away, if we try to store the signal, the large area is required to store this audio signal. Therefore, we convert this analog audio information into the digital signal with the help of what is known as the digital to analog converter. Once the information is stored in digital form, less space is required to store the information. So, for example, the pen drive, the hard disk or DVD, CD, Blu-ray disc, any digital storage device, information is stored in the form of digital. So, digital to analog converter is used for the conversion of the analog signal into the digital signal. We are going to study two types of circuits here. So, digital to analog converter is used for the conversion of digital conversion of digital signal into the analog signal. Now usually the sound wave is converted into the audio signal with the help of the microphone. The analog signals are then converted into digital with the help of the analog to digital converter. Since the information stored in the CD or DVD is in digital form, this digital information cannot be straight away fed to the loudspeaker or to the camera tube. So digital to analog converter circuit will convert the digital signal into analog signal. The signal is then amplified and then fed to the loudspeaker or to the camera tube. So digital to analog converter circuit will convert the digital signal into the analog signal. There are two types of circuits. One is called the R2R ladder network DAC and one is called binary weighted resistance DAC. And one more is the PWM DAC, pulse width modulation DAC. Let's study the working of R2R ladder network DAC. The R2R ladder network DAC consists of resistors wired in the form of R and 2R. If for example, if R equal to 1 kilo ohm, then 2R equal to 2 kilo ohm. Here there are some combinations of resistors. And there are some switches S1, S2, S3 and S4. The switches may be connected to plus 16 volt or it may be connected to the ground. If it is connected to plus 16 volt, then the input, if it is connected to plus 16 volt, then input is logical high state. If it is grounded, then the input may be logical low state or zero state. Now, there are four switches S1, S2, S3 and S4. These are the digital inputs which are applied to the non-inverting input terminal of a buffer amplifier. Now what is buffer amplifier? Buffer amplifier is the one whose output voltage is equal to the input voltage. Let us consider an input, say 1000, 1000. That means the S4 switch alone is connected to battery positive. Let us observe the circuit. In this circuit diagram, I have connected the S4 switch to the battery positive and all other switches are connected to the ground. Therefore, the input data becomes 1000. When this particular combination of input is applied to the circuit, then we will now calculate the output voltage produced by the circuit. 2R and 2R, these two resistors are connected in parallel, same resistors of equal values, these two resistors of equal values connected in parallel. The resistance reduces to half of the original value. Therefore, 2R parallel 2R, it is equal to resistance R. Now these two resistors can be replaced by a single resistance whose resistance is R. Now this resistance R is connected in series with another resistor R. So R plus R is equal to 2R. And then 2R resistance is connected in parallel with one more 2R resistor. 2R parallel 2R is equal to R. Now this resistance R, the entire circuit can be replaced by a single resistance whose resistance is R, which is connected in series with another resistor R. So R in series with R is equal to 2R. So 2R parallel to R is equal to R. And then R in series with R, so it's equal to 2R. So now entire circuit can be replaced by two resistors, 2R in series with 2R, connected across the plus 16 volt battery. Now the voltage across the input terminal is equal to half of the applied voltage, that is 16 volt divided by 2, that is equal to 8 volt. The actual input voltage to the circuit is now 8 volts. Therefore, the output voltage now becomes equal to 8 volts. So when the digital inputs are 1000, then output voltage becomes 8 volts. Similarly, it can be determined it is possible to determine the output voltage for other combinations of inputs such as 0, 1, 0, 0 to the base 2, the output becomes 4 volts. When the input combination is 0, 0, 1, 0 to the base 2, the output voltage becomes 2 volts. For 0, 0, 0, 1 to the base 2, the output voltage becomes 1 volts. Now, if the input switches are connected to high state, if more than one switches are connected to high state, then it is possible to determine the output voltage by using superposition theorem. The table column below shows the output voltage produced for different combinations of inputs. The table column is shown for 4 input DAC. Here, consider the inputs are 0, 0, 0, 0, then the output will become 0 volt. When the inputs are 0, 0, 0, 1, output becomes 1 volt. When the input is 0, 0, 1, 0, then output becomes 2 volts. For 0, 0, 1, 1, output becomes 3 volts. For 0, 1, 0, 0, output becomes 4 volts. For 0, 1, 0, 1, output becomes 5 volts. For 0, 1, 1, 0, output becomes 6 volt. For 0, 1, 1, 1, output is 7 volts. For 1, 0, 0, 0, output becomes 8 volts. 1, 0, 0, 1, output voltage becomes 9 volts. 1, 0, 1, 0, output voltage is 10 volts. 1, 0, 1, 1, output voltage becomes 11 volts. 1, 1, 0, 0, the output voltage becomes 12 volts. 1, 1, 0, 1, output becomes 13 volts. 1, 1, 1, 0, output becomes 14 volts. And 1, 1, 1, 1, output becomes 15 volts. These are the tabular columns showing the output is for different combinations of inputs. Hence, the circuit works as a digital to analog converter. There is one more circuit, that is the binary weighted resistance DAC. The binary resistance DAC is actually a summing amplifier. Here, the weighted resistors which are connected to a summing amplifier. The input voltage to the circuit may be plus 5 volt or maybe 0 volts. If the input voltage is plus 5 volt, then it can be considered as logical high state, and if the input voltage is 0 volt, the input can be considered as logical low state or logical 0 state. Let us study the circuit diagram of the op-amp binary weighted resistance DAC. It is actually a summing amplifier. There are 4 inputs here, B0, B1, B2 and B3. These binary inputs are applied to the inverting terminal of the op-amp through the resistors R, 2R, 4R and 8R. There are total 4 input resistors. B3 is the input which is applied to the inverting terminal op-amp through a resistor R. B2 is the resistor, B2 is the input voltage which is applied to the inverting terminal op-amp through the resistor 2R. B1 is the input which is applied to the inverting terminal op-amp through the resistor 4R. B0 is the input which is applied to the inverting terminal op-amp through the resistor 8R. And now R is the feedback resistor which is connected between inverting terminal and the output terminal of the op-amp. The non-inverting terminal op-amp is connected to the ground. Now, let us determine the output voltage produced by the circuit. Consider, the expression for the voltage gain of the non-inverting amplifier. Voltage gain of the non-inverting amplifier is given by the formula minus RF divided by RI. Consider the input voltage B3 is connected to battery positive, that is plus 5 volt. Then the input becomes 1, 0, 0, 0. The output voltage is given by the expression VO equal to minus R divided by R into Vin, where Vin is equal to 5 volt. Input voltage is always 5 volt. So, R minus R by R into Vi. So output voltage becomes minus R by R into Vin, that is equal to minus 5 volt. Therefore, we can say that when the input combination is 1 0 0 0, then the output voltage is equal to minus 5 volt. Now here is a, now let us consider the input, binary input is 0 0 0 1 to the base 2, then VO is equal to minus, look at the circuit, minus R divided by 8R. Since B0 bit alone is connected to battery positive, the voltage gain is minus R divided by 8R into 5 volts. So that is VO equal to minus R divided by 8R into 5, that is equal to minus 0.625 volts. Similarly, when the input is 1 0 0 0 to the base 2, then output becomes minus R by R into 5, that is equal to minus 5 volts. Now, here is a table column showing the output voltage generated for different combinations of inputs. Say 0 0 0 0, B0 bit is 0, B1 bit is 0, B2 input is 0, B3 input is 0, then the output is 0. 0 0 0 1, the output voltage is minus 0.625 volts. For 0 0 1 0, the output voltage is minus 1.25 volts. For 0 0 1 1, the output voltage is minus 1.875 volts. For 0 1 0 0, the output voltage is minus 2.5 volts. For 0 1 0 1, the output voltage is minus 3.125 volts. For 0 1 1 0, the output voltage is minus 3.75 volts. For 0 1 1 1, the output voltage is minus 4.375 volts. For 1 0 0 0, the output voltage is minus 5 volts. For 1 0 0 1, the output voltage is minus 5.625 volts. For 1 0 1 0, the output voltage is minus 6.25 volts. For 1 0 1 1, the output voltage is minus 6.875 volts. For 1 1 0 0, the output voltage is minus 7.5 volts. For 1 1 0 1, the output voltage is minus 8.125 volts. For 1 1 1 0, minus 8.75 volts. For 1 1 1 1, the output voltage is minus 9.375 volts. These are the output voltages generated for different combinations of inputs. Hence, the circuit can be used as a digital to analog converter. The next is the analog to digital converter. The analog to digital converter is used for the conversion of analog signal into the digital signal. Usually the sound wave is analog in nature. The sound wave is converted into electrical signal with the help of the microphone. The microphone is a transducer which converts the incident sound wave into corresponding electrical signal. This electrical signal is analog in nature. This analog information is converted into digital with the help of the analog to digital converter. The analog to digital converter is used for the conversion of analog signal into the digital signal. The different types of analog to digital converter are the flash ADC, the counting type analog to digital converter, the successive approximation analog to digital converter, the dual slope analog to digital converter, sigma delta converter analog to digital converter, and pipeline ADC. These are the different types of analog to digital converter. Now we are going to study the working of the counting type analog to digital converter. The counting type analog to digital converter consists of a comparator. The input signal to be converted into digital is applied to the non-inverting input terminal of a comparator. The comparator is a circuit which compares the signal voltage on one of the input terminal with a known voltage called reference voltage at the other input terminal. Now here VA is the analog input which is to be converted into digital. This analog input signal is applied to the non-inverting input terminal of the op-amp. Now the comparator also consists of another input which is the output of a digital to analog converter. Now when the analog input signal is applied to the non-inverting input of the comparator, the output voltage of the comparator becomes high if the analog input voltage is greater than the output of a digital to analog converter. The output of the digital to analog converter is indicated as V0 and the analog input is indicated as VA. If the analog input voltage VA is greater than the output of the DAC V0, then the comparator produces a high output. This high output of the comparator is used as one of the input to an AND gate. The AND gate consists of two inputs. One is the clock signal and other is the output of the comparator. You know the working of an AND gate. The output of AND gate is high when both inputs are high. In other words, the AND gate produces a low output when any one of the input is low. Now, the output of the comparator, consider the output of the comparator is high. That means the analog input voltage is greater than the output of the DAC. So, the comparator would produce a high output. This high output of the AND gate, high output of the comparator is used as input to the AND gate. Now, when the clock input goes high, both inputs to the AND gate becomes high. Therefore, the AND gate is enabled or it produces a high output. This high output of the AND gate is connected to the input of a binary counter. Here I am using 4-bit binary counter. When the AND gate produces a high output, the counter starts counting in a up sequence. Now, before starting the sequence, we can reset the counter simply by using a clear pulse. So, once a clear pulse is applied to the circuit, the counter is reset. The initial value becomes 0, 0, 0, 0. Now, when the AND gate produces a high output, the counter counts up, that is 0, 0, 0, 1. So, as the AND gate keeps on generating the pulses, the counter keeps on counting in a up sequence. Say 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1, 1 and so on. It keeps on counting in a up sequence. Now the output of the binary counter is nothing but the digital equivalent of the analog input signal. The output of the counter is also connected to the input of a digital to analog converter. Now, the output of the digital to analog converter is used as one of the input to the comparator. Now, when the analog input voltage becomes less than the output voltage of the DAC, that is, VO is greater than VA. When the output voltage of the digital to analog converter becomes greater than the analog input VA, then comparator would produce a low output. When comparator produces low output, the AND gate would produce a low output, so that counter stops counting. So when VA is nearly equal to V0, the counter stops counting. Now the output of the DAC is actually a staircase waveform. It is, just look at the waveform. It is called the staircase waveform. Initial value is 0, that is 0, 0, 0. When the counter starts counting, the output will be 0, 0, 0, 1. And next it counts 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 0, 0, 0. Then counter stops counting. The same sequence repeats again and again. The result is that the output of the binary counter is nothing but the digital output of the analog input signal, or you can say that the circuit works as an analog to digital converter. So next is comparator. Now comparator is a circuit which compares the input signal voltage on one of the input terminal with a known voltage called reference voltage at the other input terminal. Let us consider the comparator. Consider an op-amp without any feedback. It is called the open loop configuration of the op-amp. In the open loop configuration of the op-amp, the op-amp offers very high voltage gain. You know, the voltage gain of a practical op-amp is very high. For ideal op-amp, it is infinity. So when the op-amp is used in the open loop configuration, it provides very high voltage gain. Now let us consider this circuit diagram. Here let us consider V1 is the input which is applied to the inverting terminal, and V2 is the input voltage which is applied to the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. Here, when we apply the input signal to any one of the input terminal, then the op-amp goes into Let's study the working of the comparator. Here, the input signal V1 and V2 are applied to the inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. Initially, let us consider we are applying the input signal to the input terminal V1 only, or the inverting input terminal. Since the voltage gain of the op-amp is very high, the op-amp goes into saturation. It is not at all possible to get very high output voltage, because the voltage gain of the op-amp is infinity. The output voltage of the circuit is given by the formula VO equal to A into V2 minus V1. Since the voltage gain of the op-amp is infinity, op-amp goes into saturation. Now let us consider V1 is greater than V2. That is, voltage across inverting terminal is greater than the voltage across the non-inverting input terminal. Now the output voltage becomes negative. Since the voltage across inverting terminal is greater than the voltage across the non-inverting terminal, the output voltage becomes negative, or the output voltage is at minus V saturation. Let us consider the voltage across the non-inverting terminal is greater than the voltage across the inverting terminal. So when the voltage across the non-inverting terminal is greater than voltage across the inverting terminal, the output voltage is at plus V saturation. Now these saturation voltages are very close to the battery voltages. Plus V saturation is nearly equal to the plus VCC, and minus V saturation is nearly equal to minus VE. The op-amp goes into saturation because op-amp cannot generate very high output voltages. According to this formula, VO is equal to A into V2 minus V1. Practically, it is not at all possible to generate the output voltage using given by the equation VO equal to A into V2 minus V1. Since open loop voltage of the op-amp is very high, op-amp goes into saturation. The maximum output voltage may be at plus V saturation, or it may be at minus V saturation. Now consider V1 is greater than V2. When the input voltage V1 is greater than V2, then the output voltage is equal to minus V. That is, output voltage is at minus V saturation. When the voltage across non-inverting input terminal is greater than the voltage across inverting terminal, then output voltage is equal to plus VCC, or it is equal to plus V saturation. Let us consider we are applying some reference voltage to one of the input terminal. Say for example, say reference voltage of 1 volt is applied to the inverting terminal. Then the output voltage changes its state whenever the input signal crosses the reference voltage. So when the input voltage crosses the reference voltage, the output voltage changes its state. This is the working of the basic comparator. Let's study the applications of the comparator. One of the most important application of the comparator is the zero crossing detector. The zero crossing detector is a circuit which detects the zero crossing of the input signal. Here the input signal is applied to the non-inverting input of the op-amp. The inverting terminal of the op-amp is connected to the ground. Let us consider the positive half cycle of the input signal. When the positive half cycle of the input signal is applied, voltage across a non-inverting input terminal becomes greater than the voltage across the inverting terminal. Therefore, the output voltage becomes positive. The output voltage is at plus V saturation. Now, when the input voltage increases in the negative direction, that is when the input signal applied to the circuit is negative half cycle, then the voltage across the inverting terminal becomes greater than the voltage across the non-inverting input terminal. Therefore, the output voltage changes state from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. Thus, we can say that whenever the input signal crosses the zero level, the output voltage changes its state. So, the circuit is called zero crossing detector. The circuit detects the zero crossing of the input signal. One of the disadvantages of this circuit is that whenever the input noise voltage crosses zero level, the output voltage also changes its state. Hence, the circuit cannot be used as a perfect analog to digital converter. This problem must be avoided. It can be avoided using the circuit known as the op-amp Schmitt trigger. With the help of the op-amp Schmitt trigger, this problem can be avoided. Now, let us observe the condition here. If the input voltage is greater than 0, that is during the positive half cycle of the input signal, the output voltage is at plus V saturation. When the input voltage is less than 0, that is during the negative half cycle, the output voltage VO is equal to minus V saturation. Now, every time the input voltage crosses the zero level, the output voltage changes its state. Thus, it is called zero crossing detector. One of the problem with the circuit is that when the input voltage crosses, the input noise voltage crosses zero level, the output voltage changes its state. So, fast output transition occurs at the output. This fast output transition can be avoided using the op-amp Schmitt trigger circuit. So, next is the op-amp Schmitt trigger. The op-amp Schmitt trigger is also called the squaring circuit. It is a perfect sine wave to square wave converter. The circuit uses the positive feedback. Now, what is positive feedback? If the signal fed back to the input is in phase with the input signal, the feedback is said to be the positive feedback. The Schmitt trigger circuit uses the positive feedback. Whenever the input voltage crosses some reference voltage, this reference voltages are called the upper threshold voltage and the lower threshold voltage. Whenever the input voltage crosses the reference voltages, the output voltage changes its state. Every time the input signal crosses the two voltage levels, which are called UTP, the upper threshold voltage, and the other voltage called the lower threshold voltage, the output voltage changes its state. Let's study the working of the op-amp Schmitt trigger circuit. This is a circuit diagram of the op-amp Schmitt trigger. It consists of series combination of two resistors R1 and R2, which are connected to the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. the input signal is applied to the inverting terminal of the op-amp. Now the voltage across resistor R2 is called the reference voltage to the circuit. Here there are two types of reference voltages. One is called the upper threshold voltage and one is called the lower threshold voltage. When the output voltage is positive, the voltage across resistor R2 is called the upper threshold voltage. This voltage can be calculated using the voltage divider rule. Now the upper threshold voltage is the voltage across resistor R2 when the output voltage is positive. It is given by a formula R2 into plus V saturation divided by R1 plus R2. Now R1 divided by R1 plus R2 is nothing but the feedback fraction of the circuit. It can be written as plus beta V saturation. Now the lower threshold voltage is given by a formula R2 into minus V saturation divided by R1 plus R2. Again R2 divided by R1 plus R2 is nothing but can be written as minus beta V saturation. Beta is nothing but the feedback fraction. So upper threshold voltage is given by the formula plus beta V saturation. Lower threshold voltage is given by the formula minus beta V saturation, where beta is equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2. We will now study the working of the circuit. When the input signal is applied to the inverting input terminal, initially the input voltage is less than the voltage across a resistor R2. Let us consider the voltage across resistor R2 is now upper threshold voltage. That means the output voltage is positive. When the output voltage is positive, the voltage across resistor R2 is called upper threshold voltage. And when the output voltage is negative, the voltage across resistor R2 is called lower threshold voltage. Initially, when the input signal is increasing in positive half cycle, voltage across resistor R2 is now upper threshold voltage and it is greater than the input voltage. Since the voltage across a non-inverting input terminal is greater than the voltage across the inverting input terminal, output voltage is at plus V saturation. The input signal gradually increases, crosses the reference voltage or crosses the upper threshold voltage. When the input signal crosses the upper threshold voltage, voltage across a non-inverting input terminal becomes greater than voltage across the inverting terminal becomes greater than the voltage across the non-inverting input terminal. Therefore, the output voltage changes state from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. Immediately, the voltage across resistor R2 now becomes VUTP, VLTP, lower threshold voltage. The signal further increases and reaches maximum value, decreases, crosses zero, increases during the negative half cycle. When the input signal increases during the negative half cycle, voltage across our resistor R2 becomes greater than the voltage across the inverting input terminal. Therefore, the output voltage changes state from minus V saturation to plus V saturation. The same sequence repeats again and again. So, as long as the input voltage is less than the reference voltage, the output voltage is at plus V saturation. So, when the input voltage is greater than the voltage across resistor R2, the output voltage is at minus V saturation. So, when the input voltage is greater than V reference, when the input voltage is greater than the reference voltage, the output voltage is at plus V saturation, and when the input is less than V reference, the output is at minus V saturation. The disadvantage of the zero crossing detector circuit is that when the input noise voltage crosses zero level, the output voltage changes its state. So, false output transition occurs in the case of zero crossing detector. In the case of the Schmitt trigger, the false output transitions will not occur. This is because if we select the reference voltages, upper threshold voltage and the lower threshold voltages well above the noise voltage level, then the false output transition can be avoided. So, for example, the noise voltage is 1 volt. Now, what you have to do? You have to select the upper threshold voltage and lower threshold voltage is more than 1 volt, so that the false output transition can be avoided. So the circuit works as a perfect sine wave to square wave converter. So it's also called the squaring circuit. So in the case of the Schmitt trigger, the false output transition can be avoided simply by selecting the upper threshold voltage and lower threshold voltages well above the input noise voltages. Now the main application of the op-amp Schmitt trigger is that it is used to convert any periodically varying signal into a square wave. That's all about the theory of the operational amplifier. Let us solve some numericals. The first numerical, calculate the output voltage if V1 equal to V2 equal to 0.15 volts. Here in this circuit, they have given the resistance values 33 kilo ohm and 10 kilo ohms. These are the input resistors. The feedback resistor is 330 kilo ohm. The input voltages to the circuit are V1 equal to 0.15 volt and V2 equal to 0.15 volts. It is an op-amp inverting amplifier circuit. VO is given by the formula minus RF into V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2. RF is 330 kilo ohm, R1 is 33 kilo ohm, R2 is 10 kilo ohm. Let us substitute in this equation. VO equal to minus 330 into 10 to the power 3 into 0.15 divided by 33 into 10 to the power 3 plus 0.15 divided by 10 into 10 to the power 3. 330 kilo ohm is RF, 33 kilo ohm is R1, 10 kilo ohm is R2. So now VO is equal to minus 330 into 0.15 by 33 plus 0.15 divided by 10. So VO is equal to minus 6.435 volts. The next problem, determine the output voltage if V1 equal to minus V2, that's equal to 1 volts. Here the circuit is the op-amp subtractor. They have given the input resistor R1 as 100 kilo ohm, R2 is 20 kilo ohm, R3 is 20 kilo ohm, RF is 100 kilo ohm. Now the output voltage of the op-amp subtractor is given by the formula VO equal to 1 plus RF by R1 into R3 divided by R2 plus R3 into V2 minus RF by Ri into V1. Now RF by Ri is equal to 1 because 100k by 100k, that's equal to 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Now 20k divided by 20k plus 20k, so it becomes 20 divided by 40 into minus 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So 20 by 40 is also 1 by 2. So 2 cancels. So we get the expression V naught equal to 1 minus 1 minus 1, that is equal to minus 2 volts. The next one, calculate the output voltage if V1 equal to minus 0.2 volts, V2 equal to 0.1 volts. Again, it's also an op-amp summing amplifier. The input resistor is 33 kilo ohm, R1 is 33 kilo ohm, R2 is 10 kilo ohm, RF is 330 kilo ohm. Now the output voltage of the summing amplifier is given by the formula VO equal to minus RF into V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2. Here V1 is given minus 0.2 volts, V2 is 0.1 volts. So let us substitute in this equation. So VO equal to minus 330 kilo ohm, 330 into 10 to the power 3 into V1 by R1, that is minus 0.2 divided by 33 into 10 to the power 3 plus 0.1 divided by 10 into 10 to the power 3, 10 kilo ohm resistor. So VO is given by minus 330 into minus 0.006 plus 0.01. So VO equal to minus 1.32 volts. The next problem. Determine the output voltage for the circuit when a sinusoidal input of 2.5 millivolt is applied. So in this circuit, it's an inverting amplifier, op-amp inverting amplifier. They have given the input voltage as 2.5 millivolts. The input resistors is 4 kilo ohm. The feedback resistor is 200 kilo ohm. The non-inverting input is connected to the ground. As you know, the output voltage of the inverting amplifier is given by the formula VO equal to minus RF by RI into VI. The feedback resistor RF, that is 200 kilo ohm, and RI is 4 kilo ohm. Therefore, the output voltage is given by the expression VO equal to minus 200 in 10 to the power 3 divided by 4 in 10 to the power 3 into 2.5 millivolts. Input voltage is 2.5 millivolts. So 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Now the output voltage is equal to minus 200 by 4 is 50. So minus 50 into 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. So the output voltage is VO equal to minus 125 millivolts or minus 0.125 volts. The next problem, calculate the input voltage if the final output is 10.08 volts. Here there are 3 circuits. The first circuit is op-amp non-inverting amplifier. The second circuit is op-amp inverting amplifier, and the third circuit is also op-amp inverting amplifier. For the first circuit, the input resistor is 5 kilo ohm. The feedback resistor is 10 kilo ohm. It is a non-inverting amplifier. For the second circuit, the input resistor is 5 kilo ohm and the feedback resistor is also 5 kilo ohm. The third circuit is inverting amplifier. The input resistor is 5 kilo ohm, the feedback resistor is 100 kilo ohm. We will now calculate the input voltage. Let us consider VO1, VO2 and VO be the output voltages of the first circuit, the second circuit and the third circuit respectively. Yes. Now the output voltage of the last circuit, that is an inverting amplifier, it is given by the formula minus RF3 divided by RI3 into the output voltage of the second circuit. The input voltage to the third circuit is output voltage of the second circuit. Now VO2, which is the output voltage of the second circuit, it is given by VO into RI3 divided by RF3, where RF3 is the input voltage of the resistance of the third circuit, RF3 is the feedback resistance of the third circuit. So VO2 is given by 10.08, which is the output voltage of the circuit, 10.08 into 5K divided by 100K. So output voltage is equal to minus 0.504 volts. Now VO2 is the output voltage of the second circuit. It is equal to minus 0.504 volts. Now look at the circuit diagram. The second circuit is actually the buffer. It is actually the inverter or the sign changer. The output voltage of the second circuit is minus 0.504. Therefore, its input voltage should be plus 0.504. It is an inverter or the sign changer. Therefore, the output voltage of the first circuit is 0.504 volts. Let us calculate the input voltage of the circuit. Now VO1 is the output voltage of the first circuit. It is equal to 1 plus RF by RI into VI. We are supposed to determine the input voltage. So Vin is equal to 0.504 divided by 1 plus 10K divided by 5K. Therefore, after calculating, you are going to get the input voltage as 0.168 volts, which is the input voltage of the circuit. The next problem, calculate the output voltage of the following circuit when Vi equal to 25 millivolts. the same circuit diagram is given. They have given the input voltage. You are supposed to determine the output voltage of the last circuit. For the first circuit, it's an op-amp non-inverting amplifier. You know the expression for output voltage of non-inverting amplifier. It is given by 1 plus Rf by Ri into Vi. We'll now consider VO1 as the output voltage of the first circuit, VO2 is the output voltage of the second circuit, and VO is the output voltage of the last circuit. Now, the output voltage of the first circuit is given by VO1 equal to 1 plus Rf by Ri into Vin. Since the first circuit is non-inverting amplifier, the expression for voltage gain of the non-inverting amplifier is given by the formula 1 plus Rf by Ri into Vin gives you the output voltage of the circuit. So, VO equal to 1 plus 10 kilo ohm divided by 5K, that is 1 plus 2, that is 3 into 10 to 5 millivolts. 25 millivolts is the input voltage. So, output voltage of the first circuit is 75 millivolts. Now, the second circuit is the inverter or the sign changer. So, output voltage is minus 75 millivolts. Output voltage of the first circuit is 75 millivolts. Therefore, output voltage of the second circuit is inversion of its input voltage. So, VO2 equal to minus 75 millivolts. The third circuit is the op-amp inverting amplifier. The output voltage of an op-amp inverting amplifier is given by the formula minus Rf by Ri into VO2. VO2 is the output voltage of the second circuit. So, VO equal minus 100K by 5K into minus 75 millivolts. So, the output voltage is equal to 1.5 volts. The next one, calculate the output voltage if V1 equal to V2 equal to 700 millivolts. The first circuit is the op-amp inverting amplifier. The second circuit is op-amp summing amplifier. The output voltage of first circuit is used as one of the input to the summing amplifier. We will now calculate the output voltage of the inverting amplifier. It is given by the formula VO equal to minus Rf by Ri into Vi. So, that is minus 500K divided by 250K into 700 millivolts. So, that is output voltage is equal to minus 1.4 volts. The output voltage of the first circuit is minus 1.4 volts. Let us calculate the output voltage of the second circuit, which is the summing amplifier. So, VO equal to minus Rf into VO1 by R2 plus V2 divided by R3. So, VO equal to minus 500K into minus 1.4, minus 1.4 is the output voltage of the first circuit, minus 1.4 divided by 100K plus 700 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 50 into 10 to the power 3. After calculating these values, you are going to get 0 volts. The output voltage of the circuit is 0 volts. Next one, calculate the output voltage if V1 equal to 300 millivolts and V2 equal to 700 millivolts, similar to the previous circuit. But here the input voltages are 300 millivolt and 700 millivolts. The first circuit is op-amp inverting amplifier and the second circuit is op-amp summing amplifier. Now, the output voltage of the first circuit is given by VO equal to minus Rf divided by Ri into Vi or V1. So, that is equal to minus 500K divided by 250K into 300 into 10 to the power minus 3. Now, 500 by 250, that is equal to 2. So, 2 into 300 into 10 to the power minus 3. So, that is equal to minus 600 millivolts or it is equal to minus 0.6 volts, which is the output voltage of the first circuit. Now, the output voltage of the second circuit can be determined using the formula VO equal to minus Rf into VO1 by R2 plus V2 by R3, which is the expression for the output voltage of the summing amplifier or op-amp inverting adder. So VO is equal to minus 500k into minus 0.6 divided by 100k. Minus 0.6 is the output voltage of the first circuit, plus 700 into 10 to the minus 3 divided by 15k. So after calculating this, you are going to get VO equal to minus 4 volts. Now the marks allotted for the op-amp chapter is 11 marks, total 11 marks. It may be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, one 1 mark question, one 2 mark question, one 3 mark question, and you can expect one numerical. One numerical is compulsory, or the pattern may be 1 plus 5 pattern, that is one 1 mark question and one essay type 5 mark question and one numerical may be asked. That's all about the op-amp chapter.